Bonjour mes amis, hi guys, thank you to all of you who watched my video about the bizarre events of the Christie's auction of November the 6th, the Passion for Time auction, over 100 lots from a collector from Oman. And a few of you wanted me to explain a bit better exactly what was the problem. A few of you shared some great insights and useful comments. Spanish John 420 was actually bidding on the Sotheby's auction that was happening the next day and thinks he spotted the same sort of shenanigans happening, price manipulations. And by the way, manipulations at auction houses have been happening forever. When the market was hot, there's no doubt many of the paddles in the audience bidding were actually just bogus ones planted by the auctioneers themselves, something very illegal, of course. Ming Chan, viewer Ming Chan 5147, shares that the rumor is that the guarantor for all those pieces, the paddle 1013, would be an insurance company that Christie's made a deal with. And Amik in Florida recommends watching the excellent speech by Eric Wind at the Horological Society of New York, which will give you his insight as a long-time dealer about the practices, the shady practices of the auction houses. In the art world, it is well known that auctions auction houses which compete between each other to get the business from wealthy families, wealthy collectors, will give a guarantee of a result and will make sure that lots don't go unsold, which is toxic for that particular item, or that they will meet at least the reserve price that the seller wants to put. And so in the art world, they will often have some third party backing an auction and be willing to take all the lots at the reserve price. So auctions in the catalogs, you will see low estimate, high estimate, and the reserve price will be somewhere in between or sometimes higher. No problem to reach it in the watch world for the past years, but the watch trends have changed. So this third party will guarantee that they will take all the lots at least at the reserve price, so giving the impression that the lots are generating interest much higher than they really do, and they will take a cut of the profit on the lots that are generating a hammer price higher than the reserve price. And this is what was brought into this collection here. And the problem is that Christie's probably didn't prepare on time, and so at the time of the auction they delayed for almost an hour because they were trying to find a backer for this auction. Otherwise they would be on the hook with their own capital, I assume, for all those lots that might not sell, or the lots that might not reach the reserve price. I believe in this case they probably had they would need to sell most everything to reach the total amount that they had promised to the seller. Who knows what deal it is that they made to get the business from that seller. And the thing is, they can't fail because either it cost them it cost a fortune for that department, the department of watches, and also they will burn themselves with the other collectors who will go to Phillips, who will go to Sotheby's and Antiquorum. So the auction was delayed. They made a deal with someone that they would take at least at the reserve price, and to get the low estimate was just is way below the reserve price, right? So you can't start the auction and then, if there's no interest, just have one paddle bidding on itself, right? You will need to bogus another paddle. So what they did, they raised live, to the horror of all the buyers who were there to get a good deal. They raised their low estimate to one bid below the reserve price. So the first bid would be that backer, the paddle 1013, and there would be no competition because there was no real interest for many of the pieces, the entry-level pieces of this collection, and so that paddle 1013 took those pieces, and they will recoup money from the pieces, the stars of the auction that sold at higher prices. Why not take those on the screen? So you might have seen presentation videos made by Revolution, for example, ahead of this auction, Waco discussing with Rémi Guillemin about the super rare pieces, the Philippe Dufour sonnerie, which went for 5 million, so below the high estimate. The Marlon Brando watch, which had sold just 4 years ago, I think, for about less than 2 million, and now went for 4.5 million. And a rare Rolex and a George Daniels. Those were the true highlights, and there were many watches with this the seal there from Oman. But then if you go scroll through, a lot of watches, apart a few APs actually went for a good price, but most watches were in between the estimates, and then actually a few watches were in between. There were a bit of bidding on them. Most watches there was no bidding, and you will find them pretty quickly down the list, trading at just the low estimate that was increased to the reserve price. So one buyer took all those watches. You see the estimate is 200, the price realized 252. That's 26%. So even a very rare Patek didn't have any interest at the original estimate, which was lower. I don't know, maybe 125 to 300, and they realized they would not reach that 200,000 Swiss francs, which would have given us if it was a real sale, you would have had a real sense of where the market is. And often for us, we look at the hammer price on this watch would be 200, and then the price realized that's with the 26% fee, a huge fee from the auctioneer. And then on top of that, you have customs to pay, maybe expensive shipping costs. And then because they don't guarantee any authenticity, maybe you have another bill to fix the watch, which also is not guaranteed to work. So the auction scene is a snake pit. And in this case, if you wanted to get a good indication of where some of the watches were trading, where you would not get it, for example, here, the very low price of 132,000 Swiss francs, the hammer price, is much below what dealers are showing right now, and who knows how much lower it could have gone. It is pretty worrying. FP Jaune, of course, we know that the watch box has been, because the production is not that big. They've been manipulating the Jaune market, buying up and selling, buying, selling. They were probably active again here. Same thing for the Rolex. You got to be careful because Rolex themselves are buying them and probably putting them in their CPO program. That's their where they refurbish and sell with their Rolex warranty, the Rolex seal, used watches, and the 1916 company, which is the new name of the watch box, is part of it. So maybe the 1916 company is behind many of those bids, and they don't care about spending a bit more because they want to keep high prices. But since we're talking about the watch box, it's interesting to see that the clairvoyant Mike Manjo of the watch box did a video talking about those upcoming auctions and saying that those top lots will fetch great prices. But the more entry-level stuff, the more common watches might run into a wall, and a lot of even the 4-digit Rolex. Every collector has one, and there's so many on the market because they did make quite a lot. And as much as you try to dissect the production into different variations, these were not selling either, And Mike Manjo was predicting that it would be very bad for the entry-level pieces and top pieces. So the whole idea is that the top pieces finance the entry-level pieces. It's a bit like when the dealers in Hong Kong 2-3 years ago went to the ADs and said, I want a Daytona and a Pepsi and this and that. And the ADs say, okay, you can have them at retail, but then you have to take my stock of ladies' Datejust and diamond watches and two-tone watches. And then the dealer lose money on those watches and makes money on the on the high in demand watches. It's a bit the same principle, if you will, with those third party guarantees, third party buyers. So you can't trust exactly what's going on into an auction. You can't trust the quality of the watches. You can't trust that they're gonna run properly. It's a lot, and you can't trust the end prices. So we have the Sotheby's behind us. You can see the results. I see lots of watches that that didn't sell. I think I grabbed it here somewhere. Important watches. It said many of them you will see did not sell. So it says bidding is closed, and that there is no price next to it. So there's quite a few. I was going down the list. I mean, 6 pages of watches like this. It's tough to follow those things. And then we have the Phillips auction coming up soon. They're trying to drum up interest here in Hong Kong. Let's go to the top. That will be in November 24, 25. And for example, you have this very entry-level watch. I mean, yes, as they say, it's sought after, the Lot 802 Bad Girl. Yes, many of us would love to have that watch, but it's available in every dealer windows. The current price around 120,000 Hong Kong dollars. That's still about 45% above list. And here it's interesting because the estimate of the auctioneer is 50 to 100, so the high estimate is lower than the current demand price from the dealers. So as you can see here, if the lot has no reserve, it will say in red. Here, lot 803, the Tiffany dial, has no reserve and a very low estimate. So very interesting to watch that one. But there is a reserve price on the BLNR, lot 802. Where is it? I assume it should be in between the 550 and the 100. If that comes from someone who got it at retail, well, it can still be in the money, but I'm guessing 80, maybe 90, but he's probably hoping to get something like a 120. Don't forget there's a buyer's premium, so 100 is to me even high actually. If you count the buyer's premium, 90, and probably the reserve is 80, so the buyer is really getting an awful price for this, and it would be much easier for him to sell it privately or sell it to a dealer who would probably still give 90, I suppose, although every dealer has them. And so we will see a bit what happens at the Phillips auction. Most of the lots don't have a reserve, and I don't know exactly what is the plan of Phillips, if we're going to see the real prices, if we're going to see the watches just being not sold. I mean, this is a different type of auction. This is not one collection for one guy, right? So it's a bunch of watches from a bunch of different people, and they're not very important watches, most of them. So hard to recognize if they're being sold a week later, while the very high-end watches that are sold in auction, you can't resell them too quickly, especially since you've paid the buyer's premium, shipping fees, and insurance, customs, and all that. You would lose your shirt, certainly, in most circumstances. But these watches like this, like a Gérard Perregaux, I mean, if it doesn't sell, try again, dust yourself off and try again, as Aliyah was singing. Now, let's get back to your excellent questions. Someone is asking, how come you don't see other watch channels talk about this? Well, there's two types of channels, right? And actually the lines are blurred. Most of them now have something to sell have watches to sell. But you've got, for example, the Revolution channel, which is gonna go see the head of the auction and talk about the super nice pieces, which fetched a lot of money. And then you have all the dealers channels who have been trying to make you believe that the market is still hard, that there's still urgency, while in reality, people are still interested in watches, but maybe don't have the money, which is ironic because now is the time to get good deals, sadly. And people have watches to sell themselves, and the dealers are sitting on big stocks and they have no interest in trashing an auction and complaining about the bogus prices that have been reached at the Christie's auction, because those dealers have huge vested interest. I'm thinking about those big YouTube channels, that Dutch guy who screams at the screen all the time, the Roman Schaff, and they don't have any interest in seeing lots unsold when they have similar watches that they're trying to sell. And so it's part of the same business, the auction houses, the dealers, the flippers. And myself, I have a few watches for sale, and nothing is selling right now, so I have no interest in the market really dropping. But that's just the way it is. I'm not gonna fake it. That's for sure. What else is there to cover? Yeah, we will see a bit in the chat rooms what people say. I'm sure we're gonna learn a lot more about the situation. And again, it is not something unusual in the art world, which is as dodgy as it gets. Right, painting is only worth what the next guy is gonna pay for it. And if you bring a painting to a little village in Nigeria, it is only worth for a bit of wood and a little picture, but it is worth $1, right? And then you bring it to an auction room, and it is worth $10 million. Yeah, as I said, I miss the time of eBay, where you would see real auctions. And even if there's a reserve price, you would like to actually see people bidding on them and see where it stops. So you have an idea of where the market is going. But because of the practice that Christie's did on the November 6th auction, you could not even see the real bidding action because they had to sell the lots. I suppose that was part of their deal with the seller. So there you go. Be careful what you buy, especially be careful buying Rolex, for example, because there's so much knowledge about them that in a way it's good. You can compare the quality of a case with another watch, but people have developed techniques to restore and give a vintage look to damaged or incomplete watches. So don't trust auction houses. Trust them even less than dealers, because dealers put their reputation on the line, while auction houses, there's been many scandals. They don't guarantee basically anything. The only thing they guaranteed here is that the seller would get X amount of money. Doesn't bode well for the upcoming oak collection. However, the oak collection is quite different. It's rare pieces, high-end pieces that have not been seen on the market before, and probably is going to fare better. So it is your indication for the market. Everything that's not $1 million watch, a rare piece, unique piece, is on the downtrend. If you want to find out how low it is, well, try to sell one yourself, and you will find that there's a big gap to the market. Don't trust anything you see on Chrono 24, of course. Can't trust what you see in the dealer's window, but feel free to always go in and name a price yourself. Let me know what you think about all this, and if you have more information about those auctions and what's really going on. Thank you for watching, guys. Bye bye.